The conclusion to Season of the Lost just took place and some mind-blowing moments went down that you definitely need to see. Today we're going to analyze what just happened with Savathun and Mara's Techeuns and how this will all lead up to Witch Queen. Some pretty crazy stuff and definitely some spoilers for the season and story if you haven't played yet, so keep that in mind moving forward. This is the final week of the season in terms of the story, and today Mara gets a little crazy. Week after week, we've been assembling these Techeuns, saving them from the Shattered Realm, bringing them back, and the goal? To get rid of Savathun's worm, which she wanted, but for us to also kill her right after.
If I exercise her worm, she will release Osiris and help us defeat the Black Fleet. I recognize the risk. Her inevitable betrayal is all but a guarantee. But without her worm, Savathun is vulnerable, unprotected by the security of her throne world.
Savathun's plans over the last couple of seasons would begin to fail as she became fragile and weak, letting her guard down in Season of the Splicer and eventually revealing herself this season. Although Savathun was here now, she was trapped in this crystal form by Mara, who believed in this. That we should help her get rid of her worm, which Savathun wanted, but also Mara because she may be weaker without the power of the hive and the darkness inside of her. The only way to extract this worm was with awoken magic, which we needed Mara's Techeuns for. And where were the Techeuns? Well, they were lost in the ley lines of the Shattered Realm. Throughout all of this, Techeuns forces would invade the Ascendant space surrounding the Dreaming City. Techeuns which were once under Savathun's control, but not any longer. Now, a voice in the darkness, their original creator, commands their armies, and also commands Xivu Arath, Savathun's sister.
A ring of spears pointing inward from the edges of our system. The Black Fleet could have destroyed us, and yet they have waited. Why? Savathun knows more than she lets on. It is the only reason she still lives, and she is keenly aware of that fact. It is why Xivu Arath pursues her so relentlessly. For Xivu Arath answers to the same entity as the Black Fleet. We must uncover whatever secrets she knows with the time that we have. I must reiterate, she will try to betray us. It is all that a wretched, self-serving creature like Savathun knows how to do. She needs me to free herself of her worm, but after that, the blind well requires alignment. As you rescue my remaining Techeuns, continue your audiences with her.
This is why we would fight through the Shattered Realm, to bring back those Techeuns and also to counter Xivu Arath and the voice in the darkness. So this was the plan. Each week we would reclaim a lost Techeuns, and each week we would meet with Savathun as she mixed lies and truth together while speaking to various characters like Crow. At the beginning of this season, Crow first meets with Mara in his guardian form. To put it shortly, Mara hates to see him this way. She wanted to use Uldren Sov, her brother, as her own weapon when he was a guardian. But thanks to Savathun, all of this didn't happen and she can't wield him as her own. So next to that Techeuns storyline and what's going on with Savathun and her worm, we also have Crow and his journey. Wanting to speak with Savathun himself to learn about who he was in the past. Lots of characters tell him this is a bad idea, but he still pursues it.
I know. Just let me speak to Savathun, please.
No. I won't give that witch another chance to dig her claws into you.
Maybe she's right, Crow.
You know I am. Savathun is already in your head. You're a liability to the mission.
Why do you have such a problem with me, Petra?
Eventually one day, Savathun would reveal the truth to him about his past as Uldren Sov, the man who killed Cade 6 and was also reborn in the Dreaming City. Learning this knowledge, the Crow was terrified and wanted to get as far away from the city as possible. Ikora would speak to him over a message and suggested that he work alongside Empress Keitel, to which he did, and he left the city. After 7 weeks of doing this continuous cycle, Mara would seal Savathun away while the final preparations were being made.
Preparations for Savathun's exorcism are underway, but the ritual can't begin without a cosmic alignment. It will take time. I want to express my gratitude for saving our new coven of Techeuns. They are young, with many years left to train. You've preserved their potential. Thank you.
This brings us up to the season's conclusion.
Time is at hand. The beacons shine bright and the ley lines are set in place. My Techeuns are prepared to perform the ritual that will separate Savathun from her worm. Although she claims she will help us in our fight against the Black Fleet and the entity that commands it, she cannot be trusted. You have coaxed enough information from her for my purposes. I will do what must be done. But know that Xivu Arath won't let her sister, or her sister's worm, go without a fight. I call on you once more, Guardian. Your knack for violence is needed. Make your final preparations and head to the Dreaming City. We will see you when you arrive.
So we are first tasked with joining Mara for this ritual, but must defend her as swarms of hive invade, and her sister Xivu Arath intervenes.
Look to the sky, God. Hear the worm gods roar. After millennia of insatiable destruction, they are powerless against my retribution.
Xivu Arath has been hunting her sister Savathun for a very long time now. Back in Season of the Hunt, we were stopping the High Celebrant and the Cryptoliths, which were Xivu Arath's doing, and throughout this season, Savathun hints at to why she might be hunting her down, because she's turning away from the ways of the Hive and the sword logic and wanting to wield the light or use some other power instead. From what we can gather, Xivu Arath works for that voice in the darkness, or listens to it, and it also would want Savathun destroyed. So after making our way to Mara eventually, this ritual takes place.
Hello, my love. Osiris admired your patience, but you look antsy to me. Having doubts?
Doubt is a useful tool, but double-edged. Do not let it lead you astray.
Ugh.
Leave him be, and keep to your promises, or I'll let him drag you into Xivu Arath's waiting jaws.
And then she would swallow you as well. Why must we threaten each other?
I am merely clarifying my intent. It is time. Yelaya, Sajari, Austin, and Savathun. We are sisters of circumstance, bonded by fate. Open those bonds to each other. Become one. Expel the parasite from our collective. This moment is simply the strike of a match. The fires we light here will burn long after. Be ready.
Large concentrations of Xivu Arath's forces are closing in on our position. Protect the Queens.
You're running out of time. I feel my sister bearing down on you.
Your family is tenacious, if nothing else.
No more than yours.
My brother spent years suffering punishment for the path you made him walk. Finally, justice finds its mark. Let this be the end of it. No.
Thank you.
So what happened to Savathun? Well, Petra tells us that she transposed herself to another subject with a matching hive rune, and we don't know where she is.
What happened? Savathun happened. The Techeuns believe she enacted a contingency spell the moment the crystal shattered. She transposed herself with another subject marked with a matching hive rune. Osiris.
Is he alive?
He is. Very weak, but alive. The Techeuns have confirmed his identity. It's Osiris. No tricks.
Do you have any idea where Savathun is now?
We do not. She could be anywhere. If it's any consolation, we do have one thing.
What's that?
We have Osiris. In a way, Savathun kept her word. To the letter.
I'll be sure to send her my thanks.
So according to Petra, Savathun basically swapped places with Osiris here in the end, and she is of course still alive. Mara and the Techeuns ritual was successful in removing Savathun's worm, but it seems Savathun had her own plan and casted herself to trade places with Osiris, giving him back to us in this lifeless state. Now there is some success though. We did manage to extract her worm, and Mara is going to use it for whatever studies she plans. But the fact remains that Savathun is still out there. This makes sense given what we know in Witch Queen. We kind of knew something like this would happen, but the question still remains how or what. Her worm is now gone, allowing her to achieve a step in her journey in becoming one with the power of the Traveler.
Do not lose the summit in the climb. After Saint 14 returned Osiris to your tower, my Techeuns verified his identity. Savathun upheld her end of the bargain, and she did not escape unscathed. Her worm is mine. It will grant many insights, I am sure. The curse on the dreaming city can yet be broken. Go home, Guardian. Prepare for what is inevitably to come.
Mara also tells us that Osiris has been returned to the tower, and her Techeuns verified his identity. So it seems Savathun wasn't lying about that, and Osiris was actually stranded somewhere all of this time. Saint 14 speaks about him.
Osiris lives. Thank you, friend. Savathun tried to bury him, to use him like currency for bargaining. She wore his face and spoke with his voice, but they were not his words. I did not believe the Witch Queen would hold to her promise. I thought I would never see him again. He is lost in sleep. Without the light, it is difficult to know if he will recover. But he is safe. I need time, Guardian. I will see to Osiris's care. When he awakens, I want my face to be the first he sees. Perhaps I will joke that now we are even. Savathun has many enemies, but she has never faced Saint 14. We will find her, and this time, it is her who will be buried.
Anyway, Guardians, that's all I got for today's video. A crazy conclusion to a season that will lead straight up to Witch Queen. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite story was over the last couple of seasons and which conclusion you thought was the best. Also, how do you think Savathun will obtain the power of the light? If you enjoyed this video and like to see some other Destiny lore and mysteries just like it, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Anyway, my name's Evade, and I'll catch you Guardians in the next one.